Yo, what's going on guys, it is Tom and welcome back to a brand new video and episode number 13 of my F1 2016 Ferrari career mode. And as you can see, we are here at the beautiful Spa-Francorchamps circuit. I mean, look at the backdrop here in this paddock motorhome, absolutely incredible here, and Co-Master's done a great job with the background. It just looks absolutely incredible. But as you can see, we've had a couple of upgrades applied to the car for this race, and that's going to bring this a little bit closer to Red Bull, who have also brought upgrades for this race. So we still are the third best team. I was pretty sure that with the upgrades that I brought, I was going to overtake Red Bull and become the second best team on the grid. However, Red Bull happened to bring a massive batch of upgrades of their own, and we've actually both gained on a Mercedes quite a bit. So either way, we're moving to practice, and the story of practice overall was a really solid practice session. And as you saw there, we absolutely smashed the track acclimatization in one take there, getting the maximum possible points. And also the tyre wear test, you managed to get over 80 points, which is a secondary and best target that gets you 50 points in terms of resource points. It gets you 54 points, and we managed to smash that target on the end of the 6th lap, and we managed to get our target there. So overall, a pretty solid start to practice, and then finally we would move into the final part, which is the qualifying test, obviously. And this was actually really good. The car felt really hooked up around here, that literally the Ferrari just felt glued to the circuit, and it was driving like an absolute dream. And as you can see, we actually come across and smashed the qualifying test with one take there, so a great lap there. And overall, it's a really solid practice session, really making it nice and quick and efficient, and getting things done straight away. But overall, a really solid practice session there, and we're now going to move into qualifying, which you know, this is what determines the grid position for the race. So hopefully we can try and have a solid session here. So as you can see, moving into Q1 now, we're coming towards the end of our first lap, and we're going to come out the final corner, and we're actually going to set a decent lap there for P3 quite comfortably into Q2, and there shouldn't be any issues with this Ferrari car to get ourselves into Q3 every single race. So eventually, as you can see, we would finish the session down in P9 with Raikkonen actually going fastest there in Q1. But as we move into Q2, we're on our one and only lap here, and as you can see, I've gone onto the soft tyre, so I'm going to try and split the strategy and go for a bit of a different strategy for the race. So as you can see, we set a really good lap on these tyres, and we actually get ourselves up into third place. So a fantastic lap on the soft tyres. We were literally out right as the flag dropped, right at the end of the session, and that lap was good enough for P4. So a fantastic lap there. And also Kimi Raikkonen there, our teammate, qualifying also on the soft tyres. So Ferrari opting for 2 soft tyres on both of our cards for the race tomorrow. But going to Q3, you can see that we actually say absolute stonker for pole position. A great lap there, 146, really good pace there, and the Ferrari just driving absolutely beautifully, and it's a 146, which is going to set us up absolutely beautifully for the Belgian Grand Prix. So overall, a really solid qualifying session, our second pole position in a row, because we got pole last time out in Germany, I believe. So oh sorry, no, not Germany, we actually got pole in Hungary, but Germany was the one in between when we didn't get a pole. So a second pole in 3 races for the Ferrari team, so a pretty solid result there, and hopefully we could try and carry the momentum into the race tomorrow, doing the different sort of tyre strategies. So I'm not going to babble on for much longer, and we're going to move right into the race. So here we are then for the race at Spa, and we're in pole position for the second time in our career mode, driving in the Ferrari. Obviously we got a pole back in Hungary, but as you can see, this is the race strategy that we're going to be running today, and I'm going to be going for the soft, super soft. Obviously, as you guys have seen, we've qualified on the soft tyre, so we've got a much better race tyre to start on. So if we can try and keep pace on the yellow wall soft tyre, then we could be in a really good position for the rest of the race. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we can try and get a good result, and maybe try and get back-to-back wins after the last race out in Germany, which we managed to grab the full 25 points. So anyway, we're not going to babble on much longer, and we're going to jump straight into the Belgian Grand Prix. Right, here we go then. We're going to gear up to the 5 red lights for the Belgian Grand Prix, and let's hope we can try and get a good start here. And we are underway for round 13 of the season, trying to pick up a good start on these soft tyres. We've actually had a pretty decent start on these tyres. Just going to go nice and late into turn 1, hold the inside, make sure Rosberg doesn't make any sort of move on us, and hold on to the lead of the race. And that's exactly what we've done through turn 1 at Le Source. So far, so good in this Belgian Grand Prix. Oh my god, both of the Mercedes have come together there, I think, for Eau Rouge. Hamilton's gone straight into Rosberg, and they've both collided, so Rosberg losing loads of positions through there. As you'd expect, Lewis Hamilton is really fast on that super soft tyre, and here he goes. He's going to try and make a move on me, and also Kimi Raikkonen with some slipstream is trying to make a move. I'm going to try and hold the outside on Hamilton. I'm going to run awfully wide off of the track. I've got to give that position back to Hamilton, but we're going to go straight back up the inside of Raikkonen at the braking zone. The battle's really kicking off here at Spa, getting really fierce into the bus stop, but Hamilton's taken the lead of the race. Here comes Kimi Raikkonen now. He's going to try and go to my outside. I've gone defensive But Raikkonen and also Ricciardo on soft tyres, so then the exact same strategies means I need to try and defend my position as Hamilton streaks away on the super softs, just sort of struggling for a bit of pace here early on in this race. I've got to try and get into a rhythm. Here comes Kimi Raikkonen, DRS wide open as it is now enabled on lap 3. And here he goes, he's going to try and go to my outside. I'm going to try and now break him up the inside of Lecombe. He's going to hold it side by side action with my teammate, and I've just touched him, and I've actually think I've half spun Raikkonen round there. So a bit of an unfortunate incident. Lewis Hamilton pits already, so those super soft tyres not really lasting for him, and this is where the different strategy is going to come into play as we start lap number 4 and back into the lead of the race we go. Oh my god, Raikkonen's actually going for it at Eau Rouge, side by side my teammate. Raikkonen's gone for the move. I've had to hold the outside. I did not talk because I did not see that one coming. I've got an illegal overtake, so I've got to let Raikkonen back past. There he goes, he's got back past me now, so we can go back to the inside and try and defend from Ricciardo. But a bit unfortunate, I thought I had that position. I thought I earned the right to hold on to first place there, because Raikkonen sort of forced me off the track. I had nowhere to go. But either way, our teammates overtaken us for first place in this race. Here we go, I've got a huge run on Raikkonen going through Blanchimont. I'm going to pull to the inside. Can we make the move on the brakes into the bus stop chicane? Yes, we can. Up the inside of our teammate, and there we go. And Raikkonen actually peels off into the pit lane on soft tyres. So that's a very early stop from Kimi Raikkonen there. And we've actually got DRS, so very strange pit stop there from Kimi Raikkonen, a very early stop. And now Ricciardo peels off into the pit lane. So those guys on soft tyres pitting very early this race. Right, here we go into the pit lane for our first stop of the race. We're going to go in for another set of soft tyres like we saw at the start of the race. Just got to make sure I get it all slowed down. There we go. Hit our marks beautifully. And Hamilton's actually making solid progress. He's back up into third. However, he's on super soft, so he's going to have to make at least one more stop onto medium. So Hamilton's going quite with an aggressive strategy. I think he's actually in the pit lane right now. So that's Hamilton entering behind us right there. So Lewis Hamilton losing a lot of time there with the extra pit stop, and we've had a great stop there, 2.1, and I think we're going to rejoin just ahead of Nico Rosberg, so a great pit stop there, just behind Ricciardo, but on much fresher soft tyres. Here we go into turn 8, Ricciardo goes up the inside of Sergio Perez. I'm going to try and pick up the scraps here as we go around the outside of Perez. Can we make it work? I'm going to switch back on him. Can we get the move out turn 9? We've had a very scruffy run through there, but we've got it done. And we've got ourselves past Perez, and we're now right at the back of Ricciardo. Can we try and maintain the momentum and try and get past the Aussie? Maybe in the next corner here. We've had a great run through Pouon. We're on Rich Mix, and here we go. We're going to pull to the inside on Ricciardo. We're going to stick our nose in. Hopefully he gives us the room. Yes, he does. We're going to try and go around the outside. Can we make it work? Got to find the traction on the curb, which isn't the best thing on this game. But we have made it work, and what a fantastic move from Ricciardo. He's trying to fight back around the outside, but I've got the inside line. And there we go. Make the move on the Aussie. And 2 overtakes in the space of a few corners there, and we're up into P3 behind Danny Kvyat. And there we go, Danny Kvyat and Nico Hülkenberg actually pit, so we're going to re-inherit the race lead and pick up some DRS in the process, and we're back up into first place, setting the personal best lap of the race. So overall, the race is panning out quite nicely for us. Okay, so a little bit of a sit rep. Apparently Ricciardo had minor front wing damage, and we've absolutely set some blistering lap times, and we are walking away from him at a rate of knots per lap. And it looks like a lot of people who are on the soft tyre actually can't make it last as long as I do. So we're in a really good position right now, and it looks like we could easily have this win in the bag as long as we don't make any sort of mistake. Alright, here we go, then we're coming in for our last stop off the race. That middle stint got a little bit quiet, but, you know, I'm not complaining if it means that we win the race. So here we go, into the pit lane for the final time this race, and hopefully we can have a nice, easy pit stop. We're going to go into the super soft tyres, so the fastest tyre available, and I think the majority of people around me are on medium, so we're going to be very rapid no matter what the situation. But I think we're actually going to comfortably rejoin in the race lead here, so it just goes to show how comfortable I've been in this race. So it's looking like this final stint could be a lot of fun in terms of just setting the fastest possible lap time that I can do. And there we go, we've rejoined comfortably in first place on a fresh set of super soft tyres, and we can now comfortably push on these until the end of the race. But overall, a really solid race, and the Ferrari really showing some great speed here at Spa. Here we go then into the bus stop for one last time in what has been arguably my most dominant performance on this game since its release. A really dominant performance, and we come through to win the Belgian Grand Prix and another 25 points, and our second win in a row and our 5th win for the season. So the stats are really starting to stack up now, and you've got to think other teams will be sniffing around me for Season 2 of career mode. I can tell you already, guys, I won't be staying with Ferrari for Season 2. I do want to move teams because I use Ferrari far too much in F1 games. So I'm going to be moving away from Ferrari at the end of the season. I can officially announce that. So if you guys want to start making yourselves some sort of ideas in terms of what teams you want me to be for Season 2, obviously a lot of it depends in terms of what contract offers get laid on the table to me. But overall, let's focus on right now and what's happened this race. And we've just won the Belgian Grand Prix, and what a fantastic race. And as you can see, both Mercedes drivers are on both of my sides, but overall they couldn't touch me this race. I was way too fast over the whole weekend. The fact I managed to qualify on the soft tyre instead of the super soft just goes to show how quick I was, and I struggled a little bit in the early laps, but overall a really solid performance and a well deserved 25 points. And we move on to the next race in Monza in front of the home fans, in which I hope to try and put on a show for the Tifosi fans. But overall, a great race here at Spa, and definitely one of my favourites in terms of just how good the car felt and how good I could consistently pump in solid lap times. But as you can see, looking at the final race results, it's myself in first place with Nico Rosberg in second, beating Lewis Hamilton after what happened in the first on the first lap, which is quite surprising, and Kimi Räikkönen down in P4. So that top four looking fairly solid, and the Red Bulls nowhere to be seen this race, with Romain Grosjean getting a brilliant fifth place for himself there. Nico Hülkenberg also way up there in P7. But as you can see, looking now at the driver's standing, you can see that we're 26 points clear of Lewis Hamilton at the top of the table, and we're 41 points clear ahead of Rosberg. And I mean, Räikkönen's still lingering on 82 points, so really needs to get his game up. And Sebastian Vettel, who isn't racing at the moment in Formula 1, is still in fourth place, so great stuff from him there. And it goes to show how good he started off the season. But overall, we're leading the way in the prancing horse, and looking at the second half of the table, you can see that we are still 58 points behind Mercedes in the constructors, so we've got a lot of work to do there to try and catch up to those guys. But overall, a pretty solid race here in Spa, one that I really enjoyed, and we're now going to move into the final part of the video. So there we have it then, that was the Belgian Grand Prix, and hopefully you guys did enjoy it. It was a little bit of a quiet race towards the end, but my pace that race was just absolutely incredible. The car just felt so hooked up and really switched on, and it was just basically a massive thanks to the upgrades that we applied, and hopefully we'll have more in the coming races. But we're going to have no upgrades for Monza because I haven't got enough resource points to update anything. So I'm going to save it up and try and get one more big upgrade before we cease development or continue. It all depends, because I said before, you know, I'm not really thinking of staying with Ferrari for another season, so maybe we could just develop until the end of the season and try and push for that World Drivers' Championship. But either way, those were pretty much the post-race stats, and as you can see, we're actually leading the rivalry against Daniel Ricciardo. This is the fourth time I've had Ricciardo as my rival, so maybe the rivalry's a bit glitched on mine, but either way, I've had the same rival 5 times or 4 times in a row now. But overall, a really solid race here at Belgium, one that I actually quite enjoyed. We got a result that I think I really deserved, and overall, we're leading the championship quite comfortably. So hopefully you guys did enjoy the video, and if you did, then please, if you leave a thumbs up on the video, that'd be greatly appreciated. And also, if you're new around here, please be sure to subscribe to my channel. And that's about it for this video, guys, and I'll see you in my next one very soon. So thanks a lot for watching, and goodbye.